And when you're speaking facts like me about drug dealers in my city, it's not my concern, all yous lot in Birmingham. It's not my concern, Manchester. You're not my concern, mate. Milton Keynes, Scousers down there, protecting nonsense. Yous are not my concern. Scotland, Carlisle, all yous dealers that base in Aberdeen, destroying them communities up there, scouse little rats. Yous are my concern. But yous kids from London, yous kids from Manchester, Birmingham, Yorkshire, Bradford, it doesn't matter where you're from, I don't give a fuck what you're doing. But he asks you to realise what you're doing and question yourselves. Yous in Liverpool, I've got every right to speak about you showering rats, haven't I? I've got every right to give my opinion upon yous, haven't I? And I'm going to. And if I can name suspects in these murders, I'm going to name suspects in these murders. Just like Lucy Hargreaves. Young woman, rats come through the front door and kill her dead while she's on the couch, looking for a boyfriend who's a living rat. What's the difference with Ashley Gale? What's the difference? She went asleep on the couch. It's the only difference. The house weren't set on fire. That's the only difference. The bottom line is, you've got dirty diamond dealers going through the front door and shooting her dead because of a boyfriend. Just like Lucy's boyfriend, Gary, shut his mouth, never engaged, never done all, and no one's really been brought to justice for it. No one. Yeah, you've got your Clarke Bradley head, who's in custody, but don't forget, they've been getting murdered for years. Don't forget Carl Bradley got murdered by Cashman. You know, the people that run that area now. So don't get twisted, people. It is what it is. I just want to reiterate for my people around the country who are trying to jump on the narrative that I'm this wronging. I'm not wronging. I'm speaking about people that need putting down. I'm speaking about criminals that are not certified. The scum. They harm women. They harm children. They don't do the work themselves. They'll pay young kids to do it for them. Some of them young kids have been working for them for years now. Some of them kids have got a body count. And that's why they're not getting held to account on this kid's murder. Because he's killed quite a few. TikTok notice restart. What does that mean? Cal 25, hope you well. Bebo 420. You definitely not a wrong one. Look, you're all on this snitch shout. Don't snitch, you get stitches. The snitches are the ones that survive in the game. The snitches are the ones that continue to peddle your drugs. The snitches are the ones that get arrested and get released without ever going to jail. They're there. They're in your communities. You can see them blatantly doing what they've always done. The dad done it. Now the kid is dealing with the same handler. If you don't know what a handler is, it's a policeman that'll be in contact with his informer. And when that dad is an informer, let's say Tony Christian, when you've got a dad who's got a child living with him like Kevin Wheatman, that handler is already grooming the son to be the next snitch. And when it's time for Tony Christian to move aside because he's being exposed, they encourage the other little snitch to carry on with the intelligence and the information. Now, it doesn't matter where Kevin Wheatman is. Doesn't matter how long his jail is. You need to understand that he's been a paid informer for years. Yeah, granted, he got jail on this occasion. But look at the incidents where he never got jail and told everyone the reason he never got jail because he got shot in the back of the head years ago when he was a kid and mental capacity up. And that was his excuse of not going to jail for everything he got arrested for until his last offence. Do you understand what I'm saying? So these people that I identify when they're trying to kill me off, when they're trying to write me off and make me sound like a complete rat, because I know his dad snitched in my trial, because I know Kevin Wheatman and his dad, Tony Christian, are paid informers. Because they were coming at me when I was labelling dealers rats years ago, they started coming at me thick and thin. So I told everyone about their hidden little secret of them being paid informers. The minute I exposed their little secret of being paid informers, the whole family switched on me. The Christians, the Broads, the Murphys, all of them switched on me. Because I was telling the truth about Tony Christian and Kevin Wheatman being paid informers. Now, Kevin Wheatman's been in jail for 2 or 3 years. And he's been snitching on whoever he is around. Now, don't get it twisted when you're watching Kevin Wheatman go to his cat D. Don't be shocked when you see him getting his home leaves before all of yous. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Trust me, I've got no need to lie. I've got no need to put anyone in the shit. I'm speaking facts that I can prove. Okay? Now, because I exposed them because I was getting targeted by them, the Lamb, Wheatman, that little coup that ran round for the Irish cartel, they didn't like it. And the pressure came on thick and fast, mate. Thick and fast. I speak truths. I've spoke nothing but the truth since I've come out of custody. I like people telling me the truth. If anyone lies to me, girlfriend, friend, they're cut out life. I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not going to sit here hating on people, calling them names that I get called, which are untrue, but on their account is true. I'm not going to do all that without knowing the truth about it. Unfortunately for them, I was in the courtroom when the judges said to the prosecution service, you need to identify the informer in this trial by 2 o'clock this afternoon, or these 5 defendants are being released and acquitted from the dock. 2 o'clock in the afternoon comes, someone's not in the dock with us. Who is it? Anthony Christian, known as Yinka. Why isn't he in the dock with us? He's just being kicked out. I wonder what's going on. Why isn't Anthony here? It'll all come in a minute. The judge is going to explain everything. Okay, now the prosecution, are you willing to disclose who this informant is, who's been delivering information for the past 18 months on this organised crime group? Are you willing to tell the defendants who the informer is so we can cross-examine him? Yes, we are. His name is Tony Christian. What more do we need to know? It's in my paperwork. He's there. He was given information against us for 18 months. You know, every time he was given information about us, his young stepson, the one that used to live with him, Wheatman, was there, present, as his handler is coming to the house. There's paperwork showing where the handler has gone to the house and he's in conversation with Wheatman. You know, these kids just don't get paid informant shouts from nowhere. They've known them for years. They trust the kid to do what he's going to do. Wheatman has been snitching for years, hence why he never got tucked in on the conspiracy with the Lamb and the others. Although he's there on the observation videos and his face is blurred out, although he stood right next to all these individuals that have been placed in prison, he never. You want me to tell you why? Because he's an informer. Simple enough. So when you're coming on here speaking about snitches, and he's snitching, no, I'm not snitching, mate. I'm naming and shaming rats that are mutts, dogs, don't give a about the children's lives on our streets. When you want to talk about snitches, you need to be looking deep into the criminal fraternity within the city of Liverpool, because they've been snitching for decades. There's reasons why the likes of me and my family get targeted and sent to prison, and him and his family never get touched. You can put it down to the violence, or you can say, you know what, he's snitching on us. He's scared of us, so he's getting us took off the streets. It's the way they work. You've seen incidents and incidents and incidents since I was a kid where well-known, infamous gangsters have snitched. blatantly, and then started asking for money to drop the charges. And there was loads of them. And the Farleys brought it in. The Farleys brought that in, snitching for money. The minute they done that against the Clarkes, don't forget who the Clarkes are. They're proper people in the city. The Lawlers, the Clarkes. These were proper notorious gangsters who didn't snitch. Do you understand what I'm saying? The Farleys and all the little rats that come after them who snitched on them, they're snitches, and have been for years. You've only got to look at where Chris Farley sits now as a Masonry 33. You know, he's higher up. He's had pictures taken with Masonic circles, Freemasons and that. How the has he got from killing children, distributes important tons, to sitting in the Freemasonry Institute like he's never committed a crime? Don't forget, Chrissy Farley's cruising around Anfield, snarling at me, looking for me with his son and the lamb. You know, this is nearly a 50-year-old man driving the lamb and his son round looking for me. You're on it? 2 or 3 years ago. And he tries to portray himself like he's turned his life on crime since his daughter had an OD on some of the drugs he was distributing. Don't get that twisted. He hasn't changed. Yes, but Chris, my brother got a crack addiction because of you and your mates selling crack. 5 of my mates ended up broken because you grabbed them and broke their knees because they wouldn't pay you money for drugs. And here we are, all of a sudden karma kicks in and you're looking sympathy and empathy off the whole city because you destroyed it 25 years ago. In a twist, lad. You know exactly what you are. All your property along Preston and Lancashire doesn't make you anything special. You're nothing but an organised crime group. Everything you've ever earned in your whole life came from drug dealing. But that's the way it is, people. I'm not scared to talk about these rats that have been trying to put me down and cancel me out. And I'm not coming at them because I've got my own little agenda against them. I'm coming at them because the dirty dying dealers that are turning a blind eye to a young girl being shot dead in home. Is it not going through? Is it not going into your brain what they've done? I don't really care, you know. It is what it is. If you can't appreciate the angle I'm coming from, don't watch, don't listen, don't come near me.